Hi everyone, it's Josiah from JoJo Studio here, and I thought I'd show you today how I built my Elmo replica in 2020. Now here you can see a scale drawing that I used to build Elmo to make sure all the sizes were right when building. Here you can see the mouth plate all taped together and ready to go. Once I had that taped together, then I checked it with the picture that I had of Elmo and made sure it still fit what I had. Once I had that, then I built a skull, a foam skull. You can use really any foam that you have, whatever works. The mouth plate is 3 inches from front to back and 6.5 inches from side to side. After that, I had to get the eyeballs, and the eyeballs are 5 centimeters. At this point, I put pupils on the head and checked the nose placement to see how it worked. You can see the two next to each other to see how close they look. Then I took out the fur and I started cutting away. The fur head isn't as hard as you think. A lot of people seem to struggle with it. It's a very easy piece. If you want to see the mouth plate, here you go. This is a full mouth plate with a ruler, so you guys get all the dimensions you need to build a monster puppet like Elmo. Now you can see here I have a 1/2 inch ring on the inside of the foam skull. That was because the skull was too big, so I had to trim it down. And then I had to do a few more fur tests to make sure I had everything where I liked it and in a good place. Now you'll notice this is not the same fur that I built the final puppet out of. This is fur that I had for other puppets that I'm building at the moment and will be building in the future. Now this is the neck piece, the upper body piece of the puppet. After I had that, then I measured it and made sure it's okay. More pictures. After that, I had the body and the eyes got painted at this step. Once I had all that done, then I cut out the real mouth plate out of plastic. I'll put a link for that in the description, and it's a great plastic for mouth plates. I just need to figure out a better way to cut it out. But here's the fur, the final fur drying, and this is the foam skull that I built. Obviously I trimmed a lot of it off, as you can see, but this was not in the final puppet, as this was just in the test mock-up stage of Elmo. After that, I then built the body, and the body is basically 2 pieces, except it's pretty simple to figure out. This is the mouth plate with the velvet on it, and the velvet was not the final product that I used also. I used black fabric, black fleece, because it worked just better than the velvet. I thought the velvet would rip at that point. This is the body all together. As you can see, I put darts in the bottom of the body since maybe the last time you guys saw that pattern. I had to change it a little bit because I didn't like the size of it, and it wasn't forming the body in the right size and in the right shape to make the body really nice. If you need the sizes, here you go. Once I had the body together, then I made sure all the fur was in the same direction, and it was, so it looked really nice. After that, I put the final head on to see how it would look. Of course, not the final head because everything wasn't glued down, but just so I could get a look at how he would be when he was finished. After that, I started pinning pieces together, so his body, his arms, his hands, his feet, his legs, his body, his head, everything together to make sure it looked good for him. This is more of the test head that I had to make sure everything was looking cool and good, and it was awesome. So here you can see the fur hand pattern, and it's really easy to tell trimmed versus untrimmed. The top one is trimmed and the bottom one is not here. But then you can see the head on you can see the spare head on the next body, and this is when he was basically all together and all his pieces were all sewn up, and I kind of had to put him together. His feet weren't finished, his legs weren't finished. He still needed a lot done, but yeah. Hey everybody, so I just wanted to show you the progress on Elmo right now as it is. His nose is still bothering me, so I'm still working on that. But his mouth plate is glued in and everything, so I'm pretty happy with that. His hands still need to finish, so I gotta finish I gotta make a new hand pattern, but his pinky's too small, so I'm gonna make that a little longer to fit this pattern. But here he basically is, you know. He's cute. He's got a smaller body. I might have to do some adjusting, you know, a little bit here and there, but I'm not gonna do too much adjusting, just cause. But like I said, his nose is still bothering me a little bit because it's not big enough to me, I don't think. But you never know. And of course, it's a little awkward right now because I'm not, his nose isn't technically glued on, and but yeah, this is where he's at. I have the beads for his arms, so I gotta make his foam arms and hands sometime soon. And down my feet. Yeah, baby. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. If you have any questions, put them down there, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. So once everything was pinned together, I had them in a good state. So here you can see the process I took between the nose, and it took quite a while to get the shape that I finally wanted, but I'm finally happy with the shape of the nose for Elmo. These are Elmo's legs. Now you can build them differently. I decided to build them in one piece. Some people build them in two. I just preferred one. This is a test to see how he would look on camera, and this is all three of my Elmos that I've built. Number 1, number 3, and the newest Elmo. Here's some better pictures of Elmo, just half-bodied, without the foam in his hands, his legs, his feet, and his sleeve. At this point, his arms and hands were pinned on because the foam hands still needed to be finished at this point. But at this point, I was very happy with how he was turning out. A lot of people ask me about the arms. Inside the arms, I just put beads with a knot in between. If you guys want me to do a future video on that, I can. This is how I build the hands. I build the hand wire, the plastic, put the wire around it, wrap it in, you know, simple stuff. It's a different way than most people do it, but it works for me, so yeah, awesome. And then once everything's in there, then it all gets sandwiched together and glued down and then stuffed into the hand. Now during this, you may notice that his nose seemed to change colors during the video. If not, awesome. If you did, hey, cool. But during this build, I also got new Antron fleece from WeirdKidsStore.com, and they are a store, I believe, in the UK, and they work really well. They came out with this awesome fleece, and it was just a color I needed, but I didn't use it on this particular puppet. These are Elmo's feet, with a hole in the middle to sew the legs on. Now if you've watched Adam Cruinger, you'll notice I'm doing it a lot differently than him. That's okay, I'm a different builder, different person. I have different styles than everybody else. That's cool. But this is when the puppet was all basically finished as one, except for the sleeve being added on. Now the eyes gave me trouble because they took so many coats of paint, but finally they came out very nice, and I was really happy with how they turned out.
everybody, it's Elmo. Elmo's here having a nice Saturday morning with his mommy and daddy. So, I would like to wish you all have